now. We're not live right now.
Okay.
Just getting back into the swing of
What's
things.
up, people? Another weekend edition of the Morning Grind with Ricky Cheese and Jordan Cohen.
We're
Um,
back.
we are back. I tell you what, the new wrestling season's here. The USA Wrestling's 2026-2027 membership just opened on August 20th, so people are getting pretty pumped for the season. And that brings up a few topics that I'd like to touch on. You know, we have so many good wrestlers in the state of Florida. We finished top 8 at Fargo, but who had the best summer? Paola Perez, Jasper Kroom, Riley Bevel, Benito Barnhart. Those are names right off the bat that jump out to me. Jasper from your area, the North Florida area. He's doing huge things, already state champion. Benito Barnhart is working viciously with Zach Sherman. So he's getting that Zach Sherman effect. Did not place at Fargo, should have placed at Fargo, according to Coach Zach. Talked to him last night about Benito, but I'm not worried about Benito. He's a great kid. He is transferring, though. He's no longer at St. John Newman. He is at Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast had some big transfers, man. And most of them were from St. John Newman, but now they're at Gulf Coast. So, yeah, man, we've got some tough kids. Who in the North Florida area, other than Jasper and Koa Deloach, are people really big on?
You know, we got Kendall Haney, obviously.
She's awesome. Love that kid.
No, there's some rumbles. North Florida's getting stronger. There's some big shake up. Our friend Zach Deaton, who was formerly at Bay, he is
New
now
coach.
the head coach. Yeah, he was the assistant coach with his dad at Bay High, but now he is the head coach of North Bay Haven. And we have our friend Zane Turnipseed stepping back. I'm trying to talk Zane Turnipseed into becoming the new host of the North Florida Wrestling Show because I think that he would kill it.
That'd be
So,
great.
I'll do, man. We got to keep that pressure on you and him be working together pretty tightly.
Yep. Hey, Gulf Breeze, that's North Florida, right?
That's over in Pensacola with Ryan Blackwell at Well Trained
Well
Academy
trained, right.
and Jim Bird at Gulf Breeze. They work pretty tightly. They're building up something special over there as well.
I got Madison Carroll from Gulf Breeze. She finished 26-9 last year. She's a senior this year. I got her ranked number 10. So she cracked the top 10 in the state. And we only rank the top 10 because we want to keep it very special. That's one North Florida girl.
Well,
Um,
she trained a lot with Camden Elliott, so you can't be in that training circle, you know, with that caliber of a
right.
wrestler every day and not get better. Which they have another girl, I think Adeline Fowles, I think that's her first name, Fowles.
Okay.
I like her. I'm pretty high on her. She looks like a wrestler. Peyton Gaines from over in Crestview, if we're going to stay over on the girls side, I think she should have her breakout season this year. Who
You know
else?
who I'm looking at big at in North Florida on the girls' side? Choctaw Hatchie's North Florida, right?
Yeah, they're coming on strong. They got that Tran girl, is that what you're about to say?
Sophia Tran, yes, that
Hmm.
girl is tough. I watched her at the state tournament. She's tall, lanky, but tougher than nails, man. She was 33-11, but she's a senior this year. I don't remember if she placed or not, but I've got her ranked number 9 right now.
I believe she was a last minute replacement for our Queens of Florida as well. So
I saw
she's
her
willing to
wrestle there
take on
too.
a challenge. You know,
Yeah,
she doesn't shy away from it. So big thanks to her for stepping up.
yeah.
And you know, hopefully we get to see her back. Speaking of Queens of Florida, you know,
I got a freshman from North Bay Haven ranked number 5 in the preseason rankings, Nova Estrada, Coach Estrada's daughter. You watch out for Nova. She finished 45-10 as an 8th grader.
well, she was a runner up last year too.
Yeah, I was just going to say she made the state finals. Didn't work out, but she's state runner up as an 8th grader. Not
I
too
mean,
shabby.
and losing in the finals to someone like Gallo's, you know, Snow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing to
no,
hang your head over.
yeah, huh?
I said nothing to hang your head over.
Yeah, exactly.
North Florida, man, they are doing so many good things. Yeah, it's Adeline Fowles, and I got her ranked number 4. She's going to be a junior.
Yeah, she's good. She works hard. You know, she's a fun one to always watch as well. Um, I'm a big fan of Adelaide. I don't think you have her ranked in the top 10 yet, but I'd like to. I think she'll probably crack up there sometime late this season. Is Adelaide Hannigan from Niceville. She's one dark horse that I think
Okay.
can have a pretty good breakout season as well.
I didn't know this, but Sophia Tran has a sister,
Yeah,
an older sister, or is it a twin sister? She's a senior, Isabella Tran.
I don't know. I should know that because I've seen them compete a lot, but I never
Isabella's
asked.
ranked number 7 in the state right now.
Yeah. I
So
said
she's
that Choctaw's been putting a lot of work in both their programs, but you definitely seen a lot of strides with their women's program the last couple years,
what
especially
about
led by another Queens of Florida participant, Mary McKinney. She was actually the
yeah.
first women's state placer for Choctawhatchee. So they're trending in the right direction. They're starting to put the legacy together, and that's a super important thing. Especially with girls having one division. Is there's one chance for you to get a state placer every year.
Yeah.
So to be able to deliver on that gives them something, a foundation to build on.
Another North Florida girl ranked number 4, Kelsey Marshka from Giles.
She's good too. I can see
North
her having
Florida.
a good state run as well. Marshka's a good
Sure.
coach. His son, her brother was a really really good wrestler as well. A couple years ago, Garrett.
Okay. Who's Kyla Armstrong from North Bay Haven? She must be tough because I got her ranked number 10.
I've
She
seen
was
her.
pretty unranked.
I've seen her. North Bay Haven's putting in the work, man. They're putting in the work. I think a big thing, and we'd have to have Coach Estrada on to kind of expound upon this, but I think North Florida's starting to work more and more together, more cooperative. You see a lot more kids training together pretty regularly, willing to hit that travel time, to get good partners. You see Kroom traveling with Estrada all the time, going to his different little satellite locations. So
Yeah.
we're on the rise. North Florida's certainly on the rise.
Well, in the upper weights for the girls, I got one from your alma mater, Swanee Live Oak, Amira Handy. She's ranked number
Yeah,
10 at 190.
I love seeing. I'm not gonna lie. I love seeing that we got some female bulldogs, and I can't wait to see one of them finally get on that wall of champions that we have. And start a new legacy again. Kind of going back to that
Yeah.
foundation that they're trying to start. You see that old John Wainwright is now Pedro Menendez. That's where he's at,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's at now. He said he wanted to be close to the grandbabies, and that's a huge pickup for that area for
Oh,
sure.
yes. Absolutely. And Swanee does have a 235 ranked in the state, number 8, Hannah Lee Corbin.
Yeah,
So,
that's Coach Corbin's daughter, former state champion of Swanee as well. Taking the lead. His son did really, had a really good season last year. Just tough to be in a weight class with Michael Mako.
yeah. Who's the next Florida breakout star? Who do you think? I have my names already, and I'll
When
let
you say
them.
breakout star, what do you mean? Like what exactly does that?
The next breakout star, the next big thing, the next name that everybody's going to be talking about constantly.
You're talking about like in Florida or across the nation?
Florida, Florida.
Florida.
Names that people might not know, like a household name yet,
I
but
mean,
they
I'll tell
will.
you right now that, one that's already there is Paola Perez, but her younger sister, Paulette, is a
Okay.
beast as well, dude. And she is,
Well, you've been getting to see those kids a lot doing work
yeah,
with.
I've run into them all the time. Like yeah, I'm a North Florida guy, but I spend more time in South Florida these days
Yeah,
working
you ought to
with
move,
wrestling.
man.
No, but I think I could see Paulette, breaking it big time. Um, speaking of Pat Lugo, he's got a lot of kids in his homeschool academy that he started that he is, really putting the time into to develop. You're seeing a lot of those too. A lot of like private homeschool academies where they get their academics out of the way so they can get to what they want to do, which is train. That's a lot of what Well Trained has up, going on over here. They have a specific thing where these kids that know that they don't have to be in school 8 hours a day to learn 4 subjects. They're finally getting to take control of their time. Get with the way that modern technology is now, and this is something I talk with my son as AI continues to get more advanced. Like you're going to need physical teachers less and less if that is your choice, and then you can go and do as you want, right? Like I just saw a Facebook picture of Well Trained Academy, and they're at the creek or at the river or something on a Monday or on a school day,
Awesome.
but able to go there and like
Can you
that's how
imagine
you
if we had that when we were wrestling?
I would have absolutely done it because that's the only reason. And I talked about this a lot. Like
I hate it.
after about my junior year, the only reason I went to school anymore was so I'm like I'm just gonna go through the school day so I can get to wrestling practice. So
Me
if I would
too.
have been able to just pop online and then just like knock it out and be like, okay, cool, I'm done. Like I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I think it's that is a very cool, unique facet of today's today's environment for the wrestlers.
Well,
But
I
it's just it's hard for me. I'm starting to be involved in wrestling less and less as I try to progress through my more professional career now. Which wrestling has helped me get to that point.
yeah, for sure. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm going to name a few of my next Florida breakout stars. Number one, coming in strong, is eighth grader Ryan Rojo from Miami Christian. Won a state title last year as a seventh grader for Miami
He was on
Christian.
our college tour with us.
Oh, was he?
He's a great kid. He's a fantastic. Well, actually, he's training with Lugo as well. He's a fantastic kid. Sky's the limit for him. Great
Yep.
attitude too. Like very, funny kid. Likes to have a good time. But when it comes time to be, respectful and in line, like he's able to, fall into that and into what's necessary. So I think the sky's the limit for that kid. That's a kid you're gonna hear. He's gonna be like a national household name in the sport of
Exactly.
wrestling. In the next couple of years, I think.
So he's a good one. I think he was a good choice for next breakout star. I have another one, young kid, Case Gustafson, another one from Miami Christian. His dad was a state champ or multiple time state champ for Brandon. Um, he's got some uncles that were incredible wrestlers for Brandon, but Case is going to be the next big thing. Bryce Fiore kind of is already, right? Everybody knows
Yeah,
that.
he's up there.
Bryce Fiore. Grayson McDonald from St. John Newman. I got him ranked third in the state right now, but he can climb. Um, but I think he's in there with Bryce Fiore, and then Jet Johnson from Coco. He's awesome. But my biggest breakout star is a female, and I'm very big on this girl. Everybody knows I have been. I talk about her constantly. Riley Bevel from Cocoa Beach. Her dad, Chris Kelly, has done amazing things with that kid. I watched her compete at the state tournament, and that kid could have won a state title last year. There's no doubt in my mind. A couple of things go a little bit differently. She's on the number one spot, but didn't work out that way. But she still made the podium as a sixth grader or seventh grader, something like that. She was young, 12, 13 years old, banging it out with seniors, 17, 18, 19 years old. So Riley Bevel is going to be the girl to watch. She's going to be like the next Kendall Haney,
You
doing
think?
big. She's beating everybody right now. There's nobody that's touching her. So
The question I have, if we're gonna be talking about, next big thing and everything, we got our girl Abigail Gonzalez.
she's already
Is
there.
she gonna compete in the boys division this year? Is she still gonna be chasing that? Is she gonna be satisfied with making history and getting eighth and everything, or is she gonna be looking to come back and maybe take a boy state title? And I make that mention because that weight class, I literally believe in that weight class, 113, 3A, anybody from first through eighth could have walked away with that first place medal.
Yeah, yeah.
That was probably one of the tightest weight classes as far as skill level I've seen in quite some time at the state tournament.
Where do you think she's going to be? 120?
I'm not sure how old she's like what? She's 16.
Sophomore.
Yeah, so about 16.
Yeah.
I don't
15, 16.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much more she's gonna grow. So I mean, I think that just depends on them. Depends on what coach what her coaches have in store for her.
To change the topic now, um, RAF. RAF 12 produced some huge storylines I mean, Max McAnally defeating 3-time NCAA champ Bo Nickel 3-2, and
Yeah, Bo
Burroughs
didn't.
dominating
Yeah, Bo
Sean
didn't
Brady.
like that. Yeah, I'll tell you, Bo didn't like that.
Yeah, I guess not. Let me ask you this question. In your opinion, is this the beginning of wrestling finally becoming a legitimate professional sport? Like, can
Uh,
wrestlers make a living wrestling through
I
all?
think I think they're working on it. It's definitely a good start. Raf has only been around for a year, but yeah, been continually putting on you know for all intents and purposes good shows. Bringing pretty good energy. Looking to bring in different stars that relate. I'm a little not sure how I feel about how far I want them to go with, getting outside people coming in and hitting it. Like I saw one where Michael Venom Page is looking to be competing. He's a striker with very, little ground game. Not saying that he doesn't know how to wrestle. I'm sure he learned, but it's like, do I really want to watch MVP wrestle somebody? Not particularly, you know. So I think they're on their way. I'd be interested to see if UFC decides to run their own division, because that's they put their UFC BJJ, and they're starting to sign a lot of the high quality talent in the jiu-jitsu world, and you have these guys not competing in some high quality tournaments like ADCC. So I'd be curious to see if the UFC kind of starts thinking of putting something in the pipeline, um, whether it's freestyle and competes directly with them, or if they decide to maybe make a folk style belt or concept.
Well, Dana White's got to see that there's a lot of UFC guys coming over to RAF.
Yeah. So, and I could see him wanting that exclusivity. So I think that's something that I'm very curious to see. I'm also curious to see how long Chad Bronstein and Izzy Martinez decide to stay in it, along with Eric Bischoff. So that's another little thing that I'm kind of seeing. Maybe they're looking to sell it and let it, put it to someone else, which if they are, good on them. You got the business started, got it off its feet, and then you're letting it go. Or if they are looking to maintain creative vision and creative control, and it's something that they're well, protective over. That's something I'm curious to see as well. So I think so. Long answer on it. I think it's on the right track. You have people willing to tune in to watch an hour of wrestling. That's a huge start every month.
What kind of money are they paying these guys? Like, are they going to be able to make a living if they wrestle 10, 12, 13 times a year in the RAF events? Can they make a
Oh,
living?
absolutely. Dude, you could pay. You can like you'd be able to make. I think and it depends on like the level of star that you are,
Yeah.
but these guys are getting like 10 grand, something like that, like on like I think like the lower scale of them. And then I'm sure these guys like Colby Covington and Henry Cejudo, I'm sure, and Marab, I'm sure they're breaking the bank a little bit to make it worth their time,
Hmm.
and
Boy wrestled last night too, and he
uh,
won.
yeah, which I'll tell you what, on that, I'm not really sure how much I think that Henry Cejudo should have got a crossover title belt, considering that he's an Olympic champion. That didn't really make sense to me. Like Colby Covington, almost like when like he was competing, when he got his crossover belt, I'm like, I kind of get that because he was more of a folk style wrestler and then MMA fighter, so I can get making that stretch, but then with this one, it's just like, why does Henry Cejudo get to qualify for a crossover
He's already an
wrestling
Olympic champ.
belt when he's an Olympic champion? That doesn't
Right.
make any sense to me.
But I
You know
wasn't
what I
talking.
mean?
I was talking about our boy Johnny DeJulius. He beat
Oh
the Russian.
yeah, he's been competing pretty regularly. That's
He
been
beat
good to
the
see.
Russian.
Yeah, I tell
Awesome,
you what, we're trying to get Pat on the Miami card. That's
dude.
coming
How's
up next
that
month.
not on every friggin' card? Guy's a Big Ten champ.
Well, I mean, because he only did a two match contract, and I think he's ready. He's more in the transitioning to the business side of things.
Did he win both matches?
He's only wrestled one. He
Oh,
wrestled
yeah.
Johnny. Yeah, he wrestled Johnny
Yeah,
DeJulius
Johnny.
when they're at Sunrise.
Oh, so he
So
still has one more fight on his contract to go.
he's got one more, and then I think that might be it. That's up to him. That's where he's at. But I think he's really excited to build this wrestling academy. He's really
Yeah.
excited to, put that time into it. And then, he and I are starting to kind of get to those more professional levels, like go to networking events, shaking hands, all that stuff. The next level of running a wrestling business.
Yeah. Back to girls wrestling real quick. In your opinion, Florida girls wrestling continues to grow, and USA Wrestling, it's continuing to expand opportunities for female wrestlers nationally. But what do Florida coaches have to do with the girls for us to be known as a female dominant state? Like for our girls, when people say Florida girls wrestling and people go, oh, yeah, they're the best. What has to be done to get us there, in your opinion?
I think we're already there, but I think the more important thing is just getting female coaches coaching female teams.
Uh,
I think that's the next thing that we need to really do for our sport and that subset of the sport in particular is we need to continue to develop and place these young women that are coming out of college, get them back in it. So these girls have more relatability, I believe, with their coaching staff. Not saying that guys can't get it done, but like, so one big thing, I've never had a period in my life.
right.
I don't know how to I'm sure I can work it through and I can help, get an adequate job done when broaching that situation when it comes, but it's not the most comfortable for me. It's not the
Right.
most comfortable for her, but it would probably be a lot more comfortable if there's a,
Oh, sure.
more of a female presence on it. And again, that's, we're building and everything, but I think that's probably the next more important stage is getting high school teams, college teams, coached by the appropriate gender, if that makes sense.
Do you think that wrestling coaches are treating girls wrestling as seriously as they do boys wrestling yet? Or you think we're there yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dude, go talk to Nick Alvarez and
Kurt
get his
Montana.
take. Kurt Montana, yeah, go talk to them cats and tell them that girls wrestling isn't as good as boys wrestling, and dude, you'll hear an earful. Hell, dude, look, I'm rocking my Queens of Florida shirt. Like,
Right.
I think people are behind it. I think that we've gotten past that a long time ago. One example I could say is being at the state tournament with my Niceville team, like 2 or 3 years ago. They were watching. Two of my guys were watching Kiki Bush kind of warm up, and they were just, gosh, she's so good. Oh man, look at her, she's so fast, and like they were like impressed and watching, and like not that that should be, you know, anything out of the ordinary because Kiki Bush is a great wrestler, but I just remember myself 20 years ago, and teammates of mine disparaging a girl that was in my weight class and that was warming up and doing the same thing. So to see that culture change so much. Yes, there's still a couple people that are a little bit in the past, and maybe they'll never catch up with us, but that's how that works. They're eventually going to be the past or non-existent, and then you'll just have people that are known to be supportive. So yeah, I think we're way past that. I think people are at a point where they respect technique and talent and skill for what it is without feeling that they need to put any kind of brackets on it, like, oh, it's good for a woman. Now, there is still some people that, have some problems wrestling with girls, or some kids that have problems wrestling with girls and them getting beat. And, but that's,
That's why they have a problem with it, getting their ass beat by a girl.
yeah, that's the ego part of it. You get some kids catching and they take it some type of way. Because if you have a girl that's strong and she's got good technique, it's going to be hard to move her sometimes. Like, especially like so. But I think that's getting, I said, less and less. I think you're seeing it get more equalized.
I'm going to ask you some questions. All I want is a true or false. You ready?
All right, let's go.
Summer wrestling is overrated if you don't improve technically.
False.
Why?
I don't know, man. Summer wrestling should be fun. You should definitely be worried about getting better. But I think that's that time where you should be willing to Because like, what does better even mean? You know, I know this is not your true or false thing, but like, you know, maybe your big thing is that you're too wound up and you need
Mm,
some wrestling to loosen up on your matches a little bit. You know,
good point.
you should be looking for losses. You know, I look for losses. So like, it depends on what you mean by like, I guess better. If you're talking about like technically better, then yes, true, you need to be getting technically better all the time.
Okay.
But I think if that's the only concern in that time, I think you are limiting yourself, you know?
All right. Next question. True or false? Parents worry too much about their kids' records.
Oh, absolutely true. But we all do, don't we? We all worry about our own records too much. Whether
Yep.
it's hard not to as well, you know?
True or false? Florida wrestling is way better than people outside of Florida think.
Absolutely true. I think
Um,
Florida's been that way for a long time. It's just now starting to catch up. And I think the big thing, and like everybody says this, Florida wrestling, we have like zero respect for like any other state.
I
Like
know.
we walk into places and like they're like, oh, Pennsylvania's here. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like
Big
we
deal.
were like, it's like it is borderline disrespectful, and I think that's why we do so well as well. You know, I think you know, whereas you have a lot of other people that be like, oh, they're from Pennsylvania or Iowa, like, and you know, they might get a little rattled. You know, I think Florida looks at it as like a challenge, or we, like I said, it's just a,
We got a chip on our shoulder now.
yeah, it is a bit of a chip. Like, you know, that's how it's always been,
Love
and
it.
I think, you know, it's nice to see Florida wrestling finally getting more and more exposure.
True or false? Winning a state title doesn't guarantee college success.
Yeah, so that's absolutely true. You know,
100%.
I think, and I talk to my kids all the time about this. Like, if you don't win a state title, it doesn't mean you can't win a national title. You know, if you're, yeah, I see the kids all the time that like, you know, wash out for one reason or another. Like, I'm a perfect example of it. I won a state title, but I was dealing with a bunch of mental and emotional stuff my freshman year in college, and you know, ignored classes, ignored all this. Guy that never won a state title and lost to me in the wrestle offs every time he wrestled had my spot at the end of the year. There was a kid that was with us too, three timer from Georgia. He didn't even make it to the first practice. He was like, I can't. He's like, I don't want to be here, and then left. Like,
What's up with that?
it's just not for everybody, you know, and that's fine. You know, that's a cool thing too. And again,
How
with it,
hard is
whether you win a
Lugo?
state, you know,
How
it's just a
hard are
state.
you and Lugo pushing these kids? Honestly.
It's not me, dude. I am the networker, director of ops, and all that.
Okay. How
But
hard is Pat pushing these kids?
you know, pretty hard. But it's more about the structure that you know that he's providing, that he's looking for, rather than just you know full out effort. It's trying to find effort in the right ways. You know, maximize the effort. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I saw a TikTok video that Pat put up or you put up where he had the kids running the hills and the mountains or whatever they were. And it was
Oh
all
no, we were in
uh,
Iowa. That was Iowa.
yeah, the Brands brothers put him through that. So he's like, I'm gonna put them through it. And it was a
Hmm.
TikTok of them running. Where was that? That was in Iowa?
That was in Iowa City, Iowa, baby.
And them kids were, bro, he put him to work.
He did. They got some work over that, man. They did 2 to 3 workouts a day.
Did they see
There was a
Spencer
couple.
Lee?
There's a huh?
Did they get to see Spencer Lee?
They did actually. Yeah, Spencer Lee. We
Oh,
got to see Spencer and Austin.
okay. DeSanto.
All DeSanto.
You're boys, right? Him and Spencer? Austin?
Yeah. They're all there. They were training together.
That was a
You
hell
know,
of DeSanto.
Austin beat Spencer in the finals for his last state title.
Yeah. Everybody knows that. That was crazy. Came back, got teched the year before in the state finals. Got teched by Spencer. Could have went another weight class. Said, "F that. I'm going the
Can't,
same weight class. I want him again." He got him. He
that's
got
what
him.
makes Austin Austin, man.
That's right. That's right, man. I love that guy. A lot of people don't. I do. I think he's awesome.
I mean, it's a persona he created, and I mean, he got a. I think a lot of people forget that he was a kid as well. You know, he's a kid when he's doing all this. He's 22, 23ish. You know, give
Yeah.
the kid some time to grow.
Yep. Yep. All right,
No,
man.
but
we're 30 minutes in. Let's wrap it up. It's Sunday. I'm sure you're going to want to do stuff with your kids, and I want to watch some football.
No, I got work all day, baby.
No.
But that is the first episode of The Morning Grind back.
Back.
With the cheese, Jordan Cone.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry we were gone for a little bit, but I had to start driving back into the office every day, and I live about an hour and a half away from work. So now that I'm back working at home full time, I will have so much more time to do stuff here. So I'm really stoked about that.
All right. See you later.
See ya.